But essentially what we're doing here is the first variable, find records, is the sort column. So that would be order by. So anything you put in there is going to be ordered. Anything you put in the second column is how many records to limit it by. You're not going to put that comma, whatever else there, because that's going to happen automatically. So you would put, if you had 25 or 30 people you would list here, you can put 100,000 and it'll just adjust. So what happens when you list something on there and you have 20 users, but you limit it to 15, it has automatic pagination, and I'll show you that real fast on the Pods website. We built the form completely off of Pods and using Gravitars as well. But here we have a bunch of topics, and we have pagination here at the bottom. You can include this pagination code anywhere you want, and you can customize it if you want as well by including your own code. We have a lot of these things split up into PHP files within the core folder of Pods, and you can use that code to build your custom stuff as basically using it as a starter point, and then use your own. So when you click page 11, it goes to page 11 and shows you everything here. All right, back to DFWWP. Benefits of having a long password. All right, so we're going to go start that page again because I exited out. All right, so we have member equals new pod, and this is just initiating the class for you technical people. And we have a lot of this information on the website underneath the user guide, so you can definitely look this up later on. And now I'm going to echo the All right, so now I'm going to echo the member listing template. And we don't have that template created yet, but I'm going to assume that's what I'm going to name it. So I'll go ahead and save this so I don't type it wrong when I enter it. So I'm going to go ahead and save this page. Now it's accessible, so if you guys see it, you'll see it, but it won't be a template yet because I haven't created it. So there are a number of different things here. We have pods, which you're already familiar with. You can add your own data types. You have templates, which is a really easy way to reuse a bunch of chunk of code within your pod pages. So say you have a listing that's always going to be the same, just use that little code. Maybe a detail page that needs to be a certain way. It's just an easy way to separate things out so you can manage it more easily and not have to go into a bunch of lines of code to remember where you put it. So it's great for that. So for this one, I'm going to add member listing. And then pod pages, you're pretty much familiar with that. I just added one. The thing you might be confused about is there's no slashes here on the outside or basically the beginning or end. What that is basically this makes it so that it's not off of your main directory of your site. So if DFWWordPress.org's WordPress installation was in, for instance, some people have it actually in WordPress, that will just make sure it doesn't overwrite anything there and doesn't try to take you back to the root of the site. So you don't need a trailing slash because that just is not necessary. You can add it. I'm pretty sure it still works because we just made this aesthetic change recently. All right, so then you have helpers, and we talked briefly about that, but as you can see here, there's a little bit more information. On the website, we have a whole lot more information. And roles. This is great because I can now say only editors and authors can edit members and add them from this interface. If I put a public form on the front of the website, it will let other users add stuff. It's not separate from this role management here. You can use the role management through pods if you use a certain function just to check to see if they have access to that specific role. So this is separate from WordPress roles. It's really custom built into pods right now, but we're eventually going to branch out once WordPress gets a little more refined in the role management for users. And then we have settings. It's just if you want to reset, break something real bad and you just want to start from the beginning, you can do that. So templates. Let's do this. We love H1s in the world of SEO, so always use H1s for your titles. Don't use H2s. Don't put an H1 in your header. Just put it in your content. All right, so what we have here is just the member listing, so we're going to put the name. And what I've done here, something very specific to pods, is magic tags. It lets you use this little beginning here with the brackets and @ sign before your column name, and then you enter your column name. It's exactly as it is. So yes.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties.
I don't think it's on.
All right, good.
Oh, that's...
All right, so we have the member columns all listed here. I can just easily use postal code or address _line_2 here in the template, but for this one I'm going to use name for the header because we want to list the most important part of that, identifying page. Well, actually, this is listing, so I should probably use something more generic. I'm not going to get into semantics of HTML yet, so I'll just do that. And then we have, let's use the Twitter ID. And just because I put this @ sign here before that, don't get confused. It's only taken after that bracket sign. So that's just the way we have built the magic tags to be a little bit more smart. So I'm just going to list the names here. I'm going to use H2s just so it's more, you can see it easier. Now I haven't taken a look at the P2 theme for WordPress yet and how much it supports pods out of the box. But you can create your own page templates and customize everything from there. And this is a very simple page here. Tony doesn't have a Twitter account, so I did put it in there, of course. Of course Tony has a Twitter account. All right. I'm not going to get into that part. We'll get to the part later. All right, so we just have a really simple listing here. And if I want to link these, I can easily by saying link the names to, and I'm just going to use absolute values here just because it's so easy. I'm going to use the ID here. And this is something you don't see in the column list. It's predefined and it's inside your pod, whether you know it or not. It's in the table for your pod inside the ID column. So what I've done here is just linked everything to the members directory here with the ID referenced. And that's what that star wildcard is going to pull in. It's going to say, okay, well the ID matches this, so I'm going to pull it in. And we have 2 links here. We have, as you see at the bottom of the screen, the link at the bottom it says 2, and then this one says 1. So I'm going to go to 1. I've added in templates to this one. So this one's going to be very easy because I'm just going to make another members template called member detail. And then I'm going to add this, but this time I'm going to make it H1. I don't need the link because you're already on the page. And then I'm going to maybe put a little bit more information like the website URL. And again, I'm not, and again, I'm not putting any extra work into the figuring out what if it's empty or not. I can do that very easily with display helpers or some other code I'll show you here in a second. right? So